even when you're doing something wrong, you have that little voice from inside that tells you, don't do it.
Yeah.
But you never listen to it, you know, and you still go ahead and
those
do
are
it.
the guides.
Those are your guides. You keep questioning, you know, whether this is the right thing for me to do. Isse acha to main gunda tha, tabhi acha tha. You know, people were scared of me, and now I've become a good person, and now, you know, people are troubling me or whatever. But then if you've chosen that path, you know, and your guides have been successful at keeping you there, so that's it, you know, your journey is complete then. I mean, now it's going to get completed in the right way. So this is what I firmly believe. You were born to do good things, but you forgot your path.
Yeah.
And now you're going to do something terrible, you know, wo andar chal raha hai. I want to do something bad to this person.
Yeah.
And your spirit team comes to your rescue, and you might just suddenly conk off. You understand? Like, there are people who say, na, Are, itna young tha, he had so much to give to the world, but isne kuch nahi kiya. You know, ye aise hi chala gaya, or this person just left.
Yeah.
He was all hale and hearty. Last night he slept, and in the morning he's not got, you know, he's not up, he's dead, he died in the night. You know, I really believe that शायद उस बंदे से कुछ इतना बुरा घोर अपराध होने वाला था that the entire spirit team, you know, the masters, the guides, the archangels, the angels, everybody came and just snuffed the life out of him and said, "Bas beta, aur bura mat kar." Because the lower you fall, it'll be very difficult for you to come back to your original position. And be good.
Be good. Like, the best example that I can think of is the nature. Except humans, everything else in the nature, the trees, the other greenery around, and animals.
We all have been assigned a master, a spirit master, you know, who will take us towards that right path, who will rather open the gateway to that path. Okay. We also have spirit guides. Okay. Now, spirit guides could be anybody, your, you know, ancestors. You know, if you look at it, it has taken so many of your ancestors to come together to create a one you, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's magical.
It is magical to think about it.
Yes.
You know, your parents, 2 of them, your grandparents. So, you know, two this side, so 4 of them.
And
plus
that
these
entire,
2, and then again, you know, the mathematical calculations, if you just go back, say even about 10 generations, you have close to, you know, hundreds of ancestors who got together to create one you. So imagine the, you know, that responsibility that you're carrying, the soul responsibility that you're carrying. And there are all of these people, you know, who are there for you. Okay. They are guiding you. They are the ones who say that, you know, it took us so much of, you know, so much of energy exchange for us to bring you into existence. Do not waste this lifetime. I think this is what your spirit guides do, you know. They will always guide you towards the right path in your life. But then again, I said, na, free will.
Yes.
You may just choose to ignore it, you know, and they'll keep telling you, beta ye galat karo, beta ye galat karo. See, you know, even when you're doing something wrong, you have that little voice from inside that tells you, don't do it. But you never listen to it, you know, and you still go ahead and do it.
And those are the guides.
Those are your guides. Okay.
Telling you. Do you, because we've had our encounters with our masters and with our guides, so we know what it is like. But then for our viewers who may not be into this world of spirituality, does everyone have a spirit team? Does everyone have a spirit guide?
We're all born with our respective spirit teams. Okay. We're all born to do good. Like I said, we come with that knowledge. You know, how do we rectify the wrongs that we've done in our past lives? How do we nullify it in this lifetime? We're all born with that innate good in us. Okay. And yet, the society around us, the conditions around us make us forget that thing. Okay. And then we stray into the path where we are not supposed to stray, and you know, we start saying things like ye mera hai, ye tera hai, you know, you bad, me good, and things of that kind. And then बीच में आपको वो झटके लगते रहते हैं, you know, you keep getting those nudges. It's all right, come back, come back. And if you take that call for once and you get back to your path, things again come back to normal, you know, like where you were heading, okay,
in alignment,
okay. You know, you go through a lot of turmoil, you go through a lot of existential crisis at that point of time. You keep questioning, you know, whether this is the right thing for me to do. Isse acha to main gunda tha tabhi acha tha. You know, people were scared of me, and now I've become a good person, and now, you know, people are troubling me or whatever. But then if you've chosen that path, you know, and your guides have been successful at keeping you there, so that's it, you know, your journey is complete then. I mean, now it's going to get completed in the right way, okay? Similarly, you know, you decide you don't want to do it. So there is a time when sometimes, you know, this is what I firmly believe, you were born to do good things, but you forgot your path. And now, you're going to do something terrible, you know, wo andar chal raha hai. I want to do something bad to this person. And your spirit team comes to your rescue, and you might just suddenly conk off. You understand? Like, there are people who say, na, Are, itna young tha, he had so much to give to the world, but isne kuch nahi kiya. You know, ye aise hi chala gaya, or this person just left. He was all hale and hearty. Last night he slept, and in the morning he's not got, you know, he's not up, he's dead, he died in the night. You know, I really believe that शायद उस बंदे से कुछ इतना बुरा घोर अपराध होने वाला था that the entire spirit team, you know, the masters, the guides, the archangels, the angels, everybody came and just snuffed the life out of him and said, Bas beta aur bura mat kar. Because the lower you fall, it'll be very difficult for you to come back to your original position.
Absolutely.
Okay, and as a spirit communicator, you must have come across these souls, you know, who come across timelines and they say, I'm so sorry, you know, to your clients. I'm so sorry that I did this to you. I wish I had not done this to you. And that is when the client actually has these gateway of tears, and this person says, it took you dead to realize this.
Oh, that's so deep. And then so many of these soul communications and the knowledge that you get, it's such an eye-opener.
Absolutely.
Because the world that we are living in this 3D, and like you said, tera, mera, and from the soul perspective,
and that main acha tu bura, you know, it's always like this.
We have to put someone in that bura wala box, or that judgment that I'm a vegetarian, you're a non-vegetarian, aap bure ho.
Exactly.
I belong to a particular, I'm being born in a particular religion, you are in something other, so aap bure ho. But that's not how it is at all.
God has not created you for all these things. He's just created you to be nice, to be good. To spread love, to have compassion, you know, all this nonsense. This is the society around us which has told us, you know.
In not my opinion, but in my experience, that I've spoken to souls, and I've spoken to souls who've really dropped very low on the first realm, and I'm like, should I even be communicating with the soul? But the experience has always been very good. One thing which is common from the souls who are on the topmost realm and the lowermost is that the reason why we are here is to just be, enjoy,
and be good.
Be good. Like, the best example that I can think of is the nature. Except humans, everything else in the nature, the trees, the other greenery around, and animals,
they're all in sync.
Absolutely.
And we humans are the only ones who are not in sync, you know.
They're just being, they're enjoying their being, they're there, they're being good, they may be naughty, but they're not vicious.
They don't mourn somebody's going endlessly. Okay, they move on.
Because they understand the reality that.
And there is also a particular belief system which says that, you know, the more number of bad deeds you've had, okay, now there is an option given to you by your guides and your masters up there. You stay here. See, the time is very relative, a concept, okay?
Absolutely.
So you be here and toil for 1,000 years. Now, what is 1,000 years? We don't know, okay? So you toil here for 1,000 years, or you go down there, become a beast of burden. So you've seen these animals that are laden with heavyweight and all that, and you see tears in their eyes sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're paying, that soul has chosen that particular path.
Yeah.
Okay. So that the thing nullifies, the karma nullifies sooner than the 1,000-year thing over there.
On the realms. Yeah.
And when, so does that mean that because he or she has chosen this life as a beast of burden, does that mean that you as a human being are supposed to create more problems for him? No. You are supposed to be good.
Yeah.
So a little gentle pat, probably good food, so that, he's strong enough to carry more load.
Yeah.
So that, again, see, there is a sync.
Yes.
You are being good because you want to be good.
Yeah.
And the animal is getting the strength, the power.
Yeah.
You're not beating the animal, you're not starving the animal,
Yeah.
you're not leading him or her to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so all this is, adding up to your karma, the good karma, and the animal's karma, of course, is getting nullified because he's going through that pain and that suffering, and
because he's chosen
that because that was the easiest way out.
Right.
Okay. There are a lot many things when you look at it from the spiritual point of view. Suddenly life becomes very uncomplicated.
Absolutely.
Like, I know of people who say things like, Are bichara bacha, it's raining so heavily, and look, there's not a piece of cloth on his body, and he's just beggar, those beggar kids over there. Okay, I feel bad. I feel bad for that child in that human form. But inside, I pray to God that, whatever his or her deeds were, जिसकी वजह से आज आपने उसको ये दिया है, also show him the right path.
Yeah.
So that, he doesn't have to fall further below.
Yes.
And, maybe he can just find somebody good to show him the path. So say something like a mobile school or something,
Right.
So they come, they feed the child, they give him clothes to wear, they educate the child, and then he's no longer that beggar child, the naked beggar child on that road.
Yes.
So see, there is another spirit team that comes to lift you from that existential realm that you are on, and then you get, you cross over to the other realm, and then you continue doing good work, and then you have success stories where they say that, I studied under
Rags
a lamp.
to riches.
Yeah, rags to riches.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So, we all have been given these chances to grow in life, It depends on how you take it. You either sit here and you mull about, 25 years down the line, this person had done bad to me. Acha, theek hai yaar, kiya, bhool jao. Move ahead, because carrying that pain is only going to cause more trouble to you.
I think when I was going through my darkest period, which you know about, and which that period ultimately led to my spiritual awakening, and I think I'm so grateful to my guides and my masters, because even I was sulking, and even I was playing the blame game, and oh my God, I did that for so long that my life is in a particular manner because of this one and that one. But my guides and masters picked me up from there, and today I couldn't have been more thankful to these people for putting me in that particular situation, which led to my awakening. And today, when I look at it from the higher perspective, I feel like, I went through a bit of whatever I had to go through, but that was a payoff, no?
Right.
I went through that because, when I say you did this to me, and oh my God, the way you treated me, I didn't deserve it. But Baba, this is of this lifetime, no?
This is a soul contract that you guys got into. In fact, for the longest period of time, I used to hold so many people responsible for all the wrongs that had happened to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you broke your engagement with me. That was so mean of you. But, had you not broken that engagement with me, I would have probably been married to you and would have had a very, very mediocre life. But I wasn't born for a mediocre life, you know. That's why you had the good sense. Now, in retrospect, I can say good sense. When it happened, I was full of vengeance and, how dare you do that to me or something like that, okay? then, you know, a couple of failed relationships and all that. Now I realize that, okay, they all happened at the right time, because that is how my soul had chosen it to be. And now I really don't have many misgivings, of course, but then, you know, sometimes, see, we are all humans at the end of the day.
True.
There are times when, you know, when it gets too overwhelming, okay, there are, you know, bills to pay, there are EMIs to pay, and there's so much, you know, so much of stress and strain in your life that you say, oh, you know, tum bure the karke mere sath ye bura ho raha hai. And then I just let that emotion pass, because it is important for that grief also to come out sometimes. And once that is gone, I'm at peace, and then I say, okay, thank you. You know, I'm glad you did whatever you did, because had you not done that, I would have had such a mediocre life, you know. Mediocre life में भी कुछ गलत नहीं है, but then I would have had to take another lifetime probably to, you know, do what I am doing currently. So thank you very much for whatever you did to me, you know.
Now that you're saying it, what's coming to me is that I think if anyone were to ever interview me and ask me what is my biggest achievement so far, I think I'd say my mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they put me in the darker phase. I may look at it as mistakes, but it actually was very divinely planned.
Absolutely.
That I would, you know, choose certain people in my life later. You know, I would regret choosing them, but it's divinely planned in that manner.
Because that is how your soul has to evolve, has to grow, has to move on,
has
in
to
life.
break open. This has to break open.
Absolutely. And you know, apart from being a tarot reader, I am also a full-time psychologist. So, you know, even in my practice and things like that, I see people who have reached the lowest of the darkest phases in their lives, you know.
The absolute shunya.
Absolute shunya. You don't know what next.
Yeah.
At one point of time, I believe even I was there, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it is.
I think all of us who've been spiritually
guided,
gifted have all been there, and that's where we started from.
I think that is our moment of, you know, going through the fire, you know.
Yes, yes.
Hote na sona, the jewelry, before it gets into the form of a jewelry, the gold has to go through the process of that molten stage. So that was our, you know, our path of being in that molten stage. I know of very close friends who've been through absolute shit in their lives for no fault of theirs.
Yeah.
Yes, no fault of theirs in this lifetime.
Yes, this lifetime.
But what about the past? You know, you've definitely done something to the other person for that other person to have come back to haunt you in this lifetime.
Exactly what I tell.
14 years of being haunted. 15 years of being caught in a wrong marriage, you know, 18 years of abuse, you know, being in an abusive relationship. ये सब होना था तब जाके, you know, you became what you had to become. Okay. And I really, you know, I mean, this is not just for the sake of camera, you know, I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. I am so thankful to serve for certain people, you know, certain very mean ones in my life.
Yeah.
I, you know, actually say thank you. You know?
Same.
Had you not, okay, theek hai, I had to go through all the tensions and all the pains and everything. But from, you know, very insightfully, I'm telling you this. You know, really want to say thanks to them. Because they've helped, you know, they have accelerated the spiritual journey. Maybe ये हमारे साथ, you know, 60th year में हुआ होता. But thanks to their being mean to us, it happened in the 30th year of our lives.
Right.
Isn't it?
Absolutely. And while we are still looking at these people in our life as the ones who did wrong to us, from a higher perspective, actually on the spiritual realm, these people who've chosen to be bad in this lifetime are our closest well-wishers, who at times sacrifice their own goodwill and say, listen,
while, you know, in this drama of life, I'll be the bad one and you'll be the good one.
Because I'll be so bad, I'll make sure that you break down and you start again. But even if it means that I have to be the bad one, I'll do it for you. So while I may look at a person and be like, how could he put me through through this situation, but on a higher reality, that person is actually my best well-wisher.
Unfortunately, these things cannot be discussed in a counseling session with your client.
But I wanted to get to that.
Yeah, and you know, I normally try to put this perspective while the counseling session is there, that, you know, at times you just have to let go. See, you know, spirituality and psychology are so interlinked, you know. If you you just pick up the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, okay? There is no psychology text that comes anywhere close to that book. It has got
Yes,
answers for
yes,
everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Okay. And you just go through it and you start linking it with the text that you've studied over the years, the 12 years of your studies or the 15 years of your studies, and you realize that it was always there. This knowledge is always there. We so easily externalize, like we just said, na, मैं बुरी नहीं हूँ, तुम बुरे हो. You are the one who's bad. But then you never realize that these are roles that you all took up for yourself so that you could grow.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So with every, I always tell all my clients the same thing, that, don't celebrate when you're on the top.
Yeah.
Okay? Because anything that goes up is surely going to come down one day.
Yeah.
Celebrate when you're in your lowest.
Yeah.
Because now the only way is, the way out is upwards.
Upwards.
क्योंकि
How
इसके नीचे तो
beautiful.
तुम कहीं जा ही नहीं सकते. That's the
When
end.
you hit the rock bottom, the only way is up.
way up, the only way out is springing back up.
Yeah.
So, always celebrate when you're at your lowest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is something I have told my son also. Like, when you get really poor marks, go out and celebrate it. Because इससे नीचे तो तुम गिर ही नहीं सकते हो, okay?
Yeah.
So that is how it is, we really need to, in fact, we all celebrate birth.
Yeah.
Okay? None of us celebrate death.
Yeah.
But isn't death just the beginning of a new life for that soul that has...
Honestly speaking,
Yeah.
2 years ago when
Yeah.
I lost my mom, and
Yeah.
you were well aware of that, my father and my entire family, we sat that night and we celebrated her passing,
Yeah.
her being, and yes, her passing, that wow, she's shed off these clothes and her soul has moved on to another journey.
We did the same for my father too. It's very important that we celebrate life and we celebrate the passing also. We celebrate the ups and we celebrate the downs. So
Yeah.
if you're celebrating the up, you should also celebrate the down.
Yeah.
Because anything that goes up will definitely come down, and anything that is down will always go up.
That's
that
the
is
law of
something-
nature. Din
it's-
ke
it's a
baad
law.
raat hai.
It's a law of nature.
Yeah.
You cannot change it.
Change
It's a
that.
spiritual law. You just cannot change it. Simple.
And that brings me to
Yeah.
something that you spoke earlier about, we are born with this certain kind of knowledge, and the society, the conditioning makes that knowledge go dormant,
Yeah.
or at least stays back in the subconscious, and we do not remember it in the conscious. While I've also read that kids till the age of 5, they have these memories, and as a mother, I've experienced this. So as a parent, I think it's very important that we do not try to condition the child
Right.
as much. And I'm seeing these experiences with my daughters where they would just blurt out things from their past life, or they would tell me things which usually the souls tell me, and a 5 and a 3-year-old kids wouldn't possibly know, at least from the way we think on the 3D, so I completely understand this. But as a psychologist, is there any message that you would want to give out to parents so that they could help their kids retain these informations?
Yes. Just let your kids be. Okay. Now we push them into this senseless rat race. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid has just barely learned to walk. Forget talk. Okay, just barely learned to walk.
Yeah.
And this is the latest preschool technology and blah blah blah. And you pushing your child there. Your child doesn't need to go there. Your child needs to be with you. The child needs to learn how to speak, how to put forth his or her ideas. And we're always so quick at rushing and, saying, "Arey, tum aap nahi bolte ho." Yeah, how did you call me by my name? And, just let the child be. The child will pick up the finer nuances of life at a later point of time. Okay.
Yes.
Do not burden the child with too many expectations. Okay.
Yeah.
Just let the child be. Of course, correct the child if the child is grossly on the wrong side, or the child is hitting somebody, beating somebody. But then again, where does the child learn to hit and beat? Nature has not taught the child to hit and beat. The child is learning from you. You shout at your child, the child shouts back at the toy. You hit your child, the child hits the toy. This is how the hitting cycle begins. हमारे यहाँ बहुत common होता है ना, बच्चा चल रहा होता है, गिर जाता है, तो बीच में इसने तुम्हें मारा, इसको मारो.
Yes.
Why मारो? Just say, अरे वाह, you fell, कितना मजा आया, didn't you have fun falling down? And then the child takes that falling down as a super, it's like a game.
It's a fun activity.
It's a fun activity.
So, wow, this is all about the perspective perspective by the end of it.
Absolutely. And see, like, I always tell people that, parenting is one profession that does not come with a manual. Okay? There's no university that teaches you to be a parent. Nature teaches you. Okay?
Wow.
We are both mothers. When we went into the labor room, we didn't know what we were heading for. But
Yeah.
when we came out of the labor room, there was something inside that wanted to protect that little helpless being that had just come out of your body, isn't it? Now that is what the bond between a mother and a child is, or for that matter, a parent and a child
And
is.
and the way we birthed our kids, it's like
Absolutely.
as though we were born with this knowledge.
Absolutely.
No one told us that.
Nobody told us,
Taught us how are you going to birth a child.
Nobody has taught the child how to suckle at the mother's breast.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody has taught the mother that how does the body produce milk for the child to
Yes.
survive on for the next so many months. Nobody has taught you that. It's all nature. So let nature take its own course. Na? Don't burden your child कि अच्छा इसको इंग्लिश नहीं आती है, इसको हिंदी नहीं आती है, ये सिर्फ मराठी बोलता है. अरे ठीक है यार, you learn.
Yeah.
Child will learn. Don't burden them. Don't burden them with unnecessary expectations. You don't allow them to play because your child is going to get dirty, or you don't allow them to go out because it's too hot. I don't remember anybody melting in the hot sun because they were playing in the hot sun. I have not melted. Neither have you. I mean, you remember playing as kids?
Yes, always. I don't think we stayed back home.
I never stayed back home in the summer vacations. By the end of my summer vacations, I used to be tanned, black in color because of all the tanning that happened, playing in the hot sun. But unfortunately, you don't see that happening with today's children, unfortunately.
I have so many more questions on child psychology now because we've started talking, and as a mother of two, I again want to know so many things.
I think we'll have to take
another session, another episode. I promise you all, we'll be doing another episode with
Thank
Hemangi.
you.
But on the topic of psychology, I would love for you to speak on relationships and child psychology.
Definitely.
As well.
Sure.
But on that note, Hemangi, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was
Thank you so much.
Pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you could make it and tell us so much about the world here and the world above. Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun.
I hope, someday when I am up there, I can come back and tell you some more perspectives from there.
We do not know. That's the thing. We do not know. That's the beauty of life. Actually, we don't know when is our return ticket scheduled to. When are we scheduled to fly?
To fly back.
You never know. For all
fly
you know,
back home.
Home. Yeah. This isn't even home, and
this is just a little tour that we've taken.
Probably I may go soon and guide you as your spirit guide. We never know.
We really don't know.
Yeah. But on that note, I'm so glad that you came.
Thank you so much.
Did this episode and guided all our viewers with so much knowledge.
Thank you. Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.